Hello. Are you excited about Christmas?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
All the presents that we bought for each other are going to get wrapped.
Yes, you have to wrap them in your secret wrapping station.
I don't think I'll have time to wrap my presents. I've already wrapped my presents. I don't think I'll have time to wrap my presents. Mine under the Christmas tree.
Yeah, you already wrapped
I
yours.
don't think I'll have time to wrap my presents because it's new. Because it's Christmas tomorrow. Have a look.
Hi guys, it is day 24. Can you believe it? We have made it to day 24. Tomorrow is Christmas. Everybody is ridiculously excited. And all the advent calendars are empty now. And I no longer have to deal with making a face when the children have just brushed their teeth and the first thing that they have after they've brushed their teeth in the morning is a chunk of chocolate. So we're past that stage now, and we can get these into the recycling. So yay, yay, yay. Pretty awesome. Yeah, so we've got a pretty jam-packed day. I have more sewing to do, which I should get done pretty quickly. But most of Christmas Eve for us is spent actually prepping for the big festive meal tomorrow. So brining the turkey, getting the stuffing loaf ready, doing the pigs in blankets, wrapping the dates. So, you know, you can join us along for the prep of all of that. And for dinner tonight, we have salmon with some vegetables, and we're going to have the instant pot cheesecake for dessert. It's going to be epically amazing. So yeah, here's my hair. Finally, it dried. I didn't go to bed until quite late trying to get it to dry. But of course, the curls are nowhere near as good as they would be on the actual day that you take them off. And I kind of tried to go for a beehive-y type thing. And because I watched Roman Holiday and I've been reading that Audrey Hepburn book about her Paramount years, I just love the eye makeup that she has. So I did my best version of a 50s style wingtip there. The eyeshadow is a little bit messed up, but hey, done is better than perfect. But I'm quite happy with how it looks, and I got a little pearl headband. Let me just show you the rest of my outfit because I've decided what my next knitting project is going to be. Here we go. Okay, so the skirt with the petticoat underneath it goes really well with this cropped sweater look, more so than the red owl sweater. Yeah, as I said, it is very noisy during the holidays here. But yeah, I really like the actual silhouette with the cropped sweater. But the purple obviously doesn't go very well with the red. So I'm going to make one of these in red, except for it will be quite plain without any of the cabling. And that's going to make a really lovely Christmassy outfit. So I just wanted to report back on my perfume quest, which I know I haven't chatted about because there's just been so much going on. And when I'm editing the videos, I try and keep them quite short. So I end up having to cut out things. And because with the perfumes, I would just end up going on spending 10 minutes talking about how the fragrance made me feel, what was the top notes for me, and then what did it feel like 3 hours later, 4 hours later, and at night and all that. But basically what it feels like with the fragrances, and I'm absolutely loving the journey, by the way. I am enjoying scents and their ability to just immediately transport me or relocate me to a particular point in time or a place or an imagined place in my head. And it is amazing. It is so amazing. So I created a Pinterest board with all of the perfumes that I want to try based on the recommendations, because so far the recommendations that I've tried from the list that you guys gave me, I have loved most of them. And I know when I started this off, I said, oh, I don't want anything that's musky or heavy or whatever and all that. But then I tried Shalimar and one of the flanks on the Guerlain counter, because I went to a department store that's got a Guerlain perfume counter, and I tried some of the Aqua Allegorias. There was a Ginger Picante, and I was just like, oh my days, all scents are wonderful. And so I've just been enjoying it. And so what's become clear to me is that I'm probably going to be quite promiscuous with perfumes for a while. Yes, I'm actually going to be promiscuous with perfumes. I right now, I can't even begin to imagine just settling down on one thing, because I am enjoying the journey, and I'm enjoying being open-minded about it as well, because there's some perfumes that I found that I like. So anyway, sorry. So back to the Pinterest board. So I've created a Pinterest board with like the list of fragrances that were suggested by you guys. Thank you so much, by the way. I got some bangers. So La Vie Belle, it's entering my wardrobe. By the way, I didn't know that you could have a perfume wardrobe. You don't have to settle on just one scent. How amazing is that? So I'm going to be building my perfume wardrobe. And so La Vie Belle has made it. I haven't yet managed to get to the Jo Malone ones, because those have been recommended. I would probably have about 6 Guerlains and all. And yeah, just some really, really fantastic perfumes. And I've been picking up a lot of samples when I've popped into the department shops, and, occasionally actually tried some on my wrist. I'll have one different perfume on this wrist and another different one on this wrist. And it's just been so much fun. There have been a couple that didn't quite work out well for me. That was quite surprising, actually. So I tried Creed Aventus for her, because that's quite highly regarded, and it it performs quite well. It has got a really strong. So I haven't had my morning drink yet, so my throat is still a little bit dry. But it performed really well. But the problem with it was I felt like it was wearing me, because literally it made me feel like I wasn't good enough for it. Like I must be more. I must be more. And it, after about 6 hours of that, I just felt like I was saying, I'm so sorry, I'm not enough. I'm sorry, I'm not enough, which was so different to the experience that I had when I was wearing La Vie Belle or Marc Jacobs Decadence, wherein I just felt, I just felt very, very pretty. And then there's some fragrances that just make me feel very like, very, like sensual, in a way that I never thought I could feel like that just during the day or something. So it's so much fun. And then of course there's the dealing with my husband and how he doesn't like the fragrances, and eventually he said he's actually got a really good nose. He really has a good nose. So he'll try something and he'll be like, this smells like this. Oh, this, this smells of old libraries, or things like that. But his issue is that he just wants me to settle on one fragrance. He doesn't like it when I've got a lot of the samples out and then all of the smells mixed together, which is fair enough. I completely understand that. So that's why I've been sticking very much to just having one sample out that I try, and then we separate it from the rest. And he's enjoying the ride because of that. Either that, or he's just realized that he can't fight it. I don't know. Maybe he's just picking his battles. I have no idea. But either way, he's stepping up to give his opinions and stuff. So two of the perfumes that he really, really liked was La Maison Kajikan Baccarat Rouge 450. He loved that. He thought that was just nice and subtle enough. And I was just like, babe, you got an expensive nose, because that's an expensive niche perfume, something that I just tried because I was walking past the store and I was like, oh, this is my chance to try this thing that, people rave about, but certainly never had any thought that I would buy it. But I've read that Ariana Grande Cloud is very similar in fragrance to it. So I've ordered a sample of the Ariana Grande Cloud. It was sold out everywhere. Couldn't find it in Leeds City Centre to try it on. So I ordered a sample. So he really liked that one, but I won't buy that. I'm just not built that way. I would never spend that much money on a perfume. Especially when I've got 5 kids that have to go to college, and 4 of them were born in 3 years, which means potentially paying college fees for 4 kids in. You get my point. I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a fragrance, much as I love it. But if there is a clone or a dupe, I'm definitely willing to try it. The other one that he really liked was Guerlain Mon Guerlain, just the original Mon Guerlain one. He loved that. He couldn't stop sniffing me all day because he liked that one so much. So I'm definitely getting that one as well. And I like it. So I just want to thank you all so much for all of your suggestions. I've got some, I got some really great starting points, and some of them are going to make it into my wardrobe, and it's going to be really, really fun. And I look forward to 2021 where, as I continue to build the wardrobe, as I continue to experiment, explore, and be promiscuous with perfumes. So for today, I'm actually trying out Dolce & Gabbana, the one for women as well. This one was ordered before I did the video, before I got the recommendation. So I'm kind of like hopeful that this is going to be okay. So that's it. So thank you so much for all of that. It's been a lot of fun. And the thing is, right, at first I was being a bit hard on myself, telling myself that I have to find a signature scent, but because I left it so long until I'm 40 to actually discover fragrances, I think I'm going through the developmental cycle, because I think when you discover something new, it's almost like you're a teenager coming into your own, and the hormones are all over the place, and you're just a bit before you discover yourself, and then you kind of settle down and be like, yeah, you know what, this is what I am, this is what So right now, I'm kind of like a teenager with the fragrances, is how I'm seeing it as. And I think it's okay because I didn't go through that phase during the natural time that I should have been going through it in my 20s and my 30s, so that by the time I get to my 40s, I'm a settled, mature lady wearing mature fragrances. But right now, I'm kind of like, I want this pink sugar. I want to smell like caramel. I want to smell like a cupcake. I want to smell like this. I want to smell like that. And that's okay. It will probably take me a couple of years to settle down on one specific signature fragrance, if at all. But for now, I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying traveling through a scent bottle. I'm enjoying being able to be immediately transported to the city streets of New York just by a fragrance that I am wearing, or to be transported to the Italian Riviera or the Amalfi Coast, just through the fragrances. I do seem to have a penchant for the ones that claim to be able to transport you to Italy, that are claiming to capture the Italian summer. So there. So as I said, oh my gosh, it's already at 9 minutes. As I said, with the fragrances, I'm finding that I can talk and talk and talk and talk about them. But yeah, this is the last day of Vlogmas, guys. I'm gonna miss this so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing Vlogmas, and it's just been so much fun. It's just felt like I'm just hanging out. I'm just hanging out with you guys, and I pop away from my family life, and I can just sit and have a chat with you guys. It's fun. I'm gonna miss it. I am gonna miss it. So today's video might be a little bit extra long because I'm just a little bit whippy. I'm the worst ones at goodbyes. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's like one last hug. One last hug. Okay, kiss. Okay, one more for the road. That's me. So this video might be a little bit extra long, so you've been warned. Right, off to put on the one from Dolce & Gabbana. And I'll do my best. Sophia Loren. I wonder if this is going to make me feel like Sophia Loren. That's another. I love her movies as well. Scandal in Sorrento is on Netflix, by the way. It's a really awesome movie. Okay, all right. Getting some sewing done now. Okay, so this is Christmas Command Central over here. We've only got one last trip left to go into town. And so we're just going to go through. This is like our Cobra meeting for Christmas here. Okay, so you ready? Turkey.
Check.
Yorkshire puddings.
Not yet.
No, we have to make those.
What?
Yes, that's right.
Do you not
It's
know?
better to make than to buy.
Potatoes.
Check.
Stuffing.
We have the ingredients.
You have the ingredients. Devils on horseback.
Check.
Pigs in blankets.
Check.
Brussels sprouts.
Check.
Gravy.
To make.
Carrots.
No, I have to buy those.
No carrots. You, sir, are fired. You are fired. Cranberry sauce.
Check.
Weird thing, actually, we could not find any cranberries. We normally make our own cranberry sauce, but could not find. We have broccoli.
Check.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are here.
Double check.
Okay, so Christmas is not yet in jeopardy. Can this man save Christmas? Will he be able to find some carrots? Because that is the thing that is missing from Christmas Command Central.
endeavour to do my
Stay tuned to see.
We also need some sherry.
Oh, you need sherry.
I need sherry.
Yeah, sherry.
Okay, I'm making mulled wine. I'm gonna get it going now, and it should be good to go in a couple of hours, and hopefully it'll last us through Christmas Eve and maybe tomorrow. I've got some oranges. I've got some wine, Malbec, cinnamon sticks, star anise, cloves, orange, honey, and that'll do it. Now we'll put it in the slow cooker and put it on low, and it should be good.
Is there an official time that people are allowed to start drinking mulled wine?
From the beginning of December.
During the day. Is it 5 o'clock at 9 a.m.?
Well, you know what they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Okay, all right, cool. It smells so good. So I'm back in the sewing cave, desperately trying to race against time to finish the jumper and the dresses. And I thought that whilst I'm doing that, I'll answer some of the questions that were asked that I just haven't had time to answer, or just hadn't thought about it, and it suddenly occurred to me that this is the last day of Vlogmas. So first of all, somebody asked whether Hila is short for Hillary. That is in fact correct. My name is Hillary with one L, but I prefer being called Hila. It's a lot less formal. Hillary was only used when I was in trouble, you know. And then somebody asked about my accent and what my native tongue is, because the reason why my English sounds so funny and weird is because English isn't my first language. I started learning English when I went to school when I was about 6 or 7 years old, because that's when I started going to school. I was born in Zimbabwe. My first language is Shona and also Ndebele. So I can also hear and understand Ndebele. Though I haven't spoken it in so long, I'm not quite as good at speaking it. So that was that one. And somebody complimented my skin and said, my skin looked amazing and what have you done with it? And thank you so much. That compliment meant a lot to me because I have been on a skin journey since I turned 38. And before 38, I was terrible with looking after my skin. I didn't look after my skin at all. I would just use bar soap on it and all that. But when I turned 38, I kind of thought I need to start looking after myself a little bit more. So over the past 2 years, I have been improving my skin game and I've been seeing the gains and I'm a lot happier with my skin. So it's quite nice to see that it's translating. But on that particular day, I think it's because I used a different foundation, to be perfectly fair, because I've also been learning how to put on makeup since last year. I only started really learning how to put on makeup. And that particular day, I used a powder foundation, Bare Minerals powder foundation. And I think that that's what made the difference. And it seemed to look a lot nicer. So it gives me a matte finish, whereas the foundation that I had been using before is a liquid foundation, which is supposed to give you a dewy look. But clearly the dewy look doesn't look as good as me, because it does make my face super shiny, given that I already have oily skin. And as for the hormonal acne, I still have it. It's just that it's not as bad as it was before, because one thing I've had to stop doing is stopping picking at it, which is very hard, but also to avoid touching my face, which is very frustrating. But when I'm wearing makeup, I'm less likely to touch my face because of the makeup that I have on. So I'm trying to I'm having more makeup days to try and reduce my face touching habit, which seems to make it worse. But this is getting a little bit better. As you can see, we only have a few more bumps left, and it's been so hard not to pick because I like picking. I like watching Dr. Pimple Popper. Embarrassing. But yeah, so the hormonal acne is still there and some of the dark spots are still there, but it's just when I put makeup on, when I put the foundation on, I can kind of reduce the look on them. But thank you so much for the lovely, kind compliment. It meant a lot to me, especially since sometimes I do feel like, oh, why did I wait until so late in my life to discover these things and what have you? So it's quite nice to see that they are translating. Let's see, was there any other question? Yeah, I think that's about it. Those are the ones that I am remembering. And I know Valerie asked me about kids sewing, and I will do a separate video about that simply because there's just so much that I could talk about. But right off the top of my head, I know that if you've got daughters and you like making dresses for daughters, I highly recommend Kichiku's Lady Skater Dress for girls. I have made those for them ever since they're 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. So really good. And also Otobri Sewing Magazine is really, really fantastic. I have found that you get a lot better responses if you involve them in the process. So you may like a particular fabric, but if your kid doesn't like it, they're not going to want to wear it. And certainly mine have been dressing themselves ever since they were about 2 years old or so. I had no control over what they wore. So involving your kids in the actual process of, choosing and selecting a fabric definitely works a lot better. That's the best advice that comes off the top of my head when it comes to kids sewing. I also got another question about who taught me how to sew. And my mom taught me how to sew by hand. Ever since I could remember, I have always been able to sew, and I liked sewing. And at school, we used to have like these classes where you had to do arts and crafts. And part of the thing was actually to do the sewing and knitting and crocheting, all of which my mom taught me. It's because my mom, she could do anything that she was very good with her hands. And she basically, taught me everything that I wanted to learn and know. So she's quite incredibly amazing and incredibly capable, and she imparted on me this, being self-sufficient, being able to do things yourself. So yeah, my mom taught me how to sew, how to knit, how to crochet. We didn't have a sewing machine though, so it was learning how to sew by hand, so how to mend things and how to sew a button. And I honestly can't remember a time that I couldn't use a needle and thread. We didn't actually sew our own clothes, but mending clothes was a very big thing. And another thing that was quite big was doing the arts and crafts. So this is something that I've managed to keep for a really long time. But I made this when I was 9 years old to enter into a local agricultural show. So you could enter things and they would be judged for best in show, kind of like the village show type thingy. And so I made this, and it's a wall hanging because it's got a little casing there, and the idea is you put a stick through it and then you can hang it on the wall. And this used to hang on my bedroom wall when I was a kid, and I did the whole tassel myself and cutting out the Humpty Dumpty motif and then doing this stitch. We were taught how to do this stitch for embroidery, and I put the little stars and I balanced them and all that. And So the funny story about it is when the judges were going around, they refused to award me the gold ribbon because they said there was no way a 9-year-old had done this. So they instead gave it a highly recommended. But one of the things they said was the teacher must have helped her to do it, which was very gutting at the time and very frustrating because I had done it all by myself. And you can see there's this little stitch here that I did. But yeah, it's my mom. My mom taught me how to sew, but then when it came to garment sewing itself, that's where I sort of started to learn how to put garments together and things like that. But I knew how to sew and how to mend things from my mother, who was incredibly stylish, and she used to get her clothes made by a tailor. So we had a tailor in town, and so she would get her clothes made over there and she likes clothes that fit her, and she's such a stylish person, and she won't wear anything that doesn't look good on her, anything that doesn't suit her really well. So super stylish woman, but she taught me how to sew. But yeah, that answers the question. So thanks for those questions and for giving me an opportunity to answer some of the questions. Right, I am just going to get on with the sewing now, and I will get it done. I will get it done. I'm going to turn on super fast mode, which means I'm not actually going to record it because recording, pausing and stopping and changing the thing is takes a little bit of a long time. But I'm making the same pattern that I made yesterday, so all of the steps were covered over there. And then I'll get on with the girls' dresses, and I will see you after I have done this, and I will have all of the things made up. Boom. This one is done now. We're just 5 minutes shy of 2 o'clock. So I've made good time. I will wrap this up and I will be starting on the twins' dresses, but this is ridiculously soft. So soft, so soft. I'm almost jealous. It is a glorious day today. The sun is shining and you can feel the warmth of the sun. You can feel the warmth. I'm back in the sewing cave now. I've changed my mind about the girls' dress. Honestly, this is why sewing plans are a bit problematic for me, because I change my mind so many times, even right up until I'm about to cut into a pattern. But instead of doing the Prisma dress, I've decided to use the skater dress, because I've used that pattern so many times now over the past 7 years. Basically, every year I've made a skater dress for my girls. So I'm decided to use this, but instead of the A-line skirt that comes with it, I'm going to do a circle skirt. So it's very simple to draft a circle skirt. So I've just measured their waist, and I'm just going to be using 3.25 inch radius. And that shouldn't take too long. I'm going to make the short sleeved version, and if I have time, I'll put some flounce sleeves on it. So we're going to get that done. It's 5 minutes past 3 on the dot over there. So let's see if I can do this in an hour. I'll see you guys finished them. It's 4:45. We have to go to a Chris Tingle service, and I actually finished them. And this is what I feel like. That's Savasana in yoga, one of my favorite poses that just makes me feel so relaxed. But I did it. I did it. I did it. I sewed 6 garments in 3 days. Not because I planned it, but because I had poor time management. But I did it anyway. That's what matters. Okay, so here we go. So this is an adapted lady skater dress. Ta-da! And it's got a circle, a full circle. So when they go like this, it will be a beautiful swirly dress. I put some extra dip cuffs over here. And there's another one. Reinforced the waistband with some elastic. There's an elastic there, just so that it just doesn't droop, you know. But oh, I did it, guys. I did it. I've done everything. Right, now I'm gonna go drink some mulled wine in solidarity with my husband, who's made the effort of making mulled wine. Yeah. Pigs in blankets are done and ready for tomorrow. This is all of the pigs in blankets that we have for Christmas dinner, because this is next to the turkey. This is the most favorite dish that people like. After we get back from Christingle, we're going to be wrapping these in some bacon. This is going to be bacon wrapped dates. And oh, these are so delicious. Gonna put some cream cheese in them as well. And these are for tomorrow. I've got the chestnuts out. I'm gonna do the chestnut stuffing loaf tonight, and it will be ready to bake first thing in the morning.
Turn the lights on.
Would you look at that? It's a golden light coming through the horizon, and a star. Thank you for joining us during Vlogmas. Bye.
Bye.